do you implement lifestyle change? This is like kind of a big concept, and I'm going to break it down into 6 different things that you can do in order to really wrap your head around lifestyle change. Because we don't really want to do things that are like fad-based, where you do something for a little bit and then it wears off and you get bored, or it's not realistic with how your schedule really works. So lifestyle change means that the things that you implement are things that you can sustain. And if you can sustain them, now you actually can reach goals and then continue to set new goals so that the growth continues to happen, so that you're not just in this yo-yo type of a cycle that can happen. And it's very common. It happens to me, it happens to everybody. So let's talk about what are these 6 things that we can do to truly get our minds wrapped around lifestyle change. So 1 is to get organized. So when we think about lifestyle change and with the concept of get organized, we have to decide, what do we want in our lifestyle change and why? Those are really key. So if you know your what and your why, now everything comes around that. If your what and your why, you don't have clear answers for those, that's where you start. And it could be, I want to move more. I want to sleep better. I want to have more energy throughout the day. Like what's the what? What are you looking for? And what's your why? And really take some time and write it out. And it'll become a lot more clear as far as then what to do next. Everybody's what and everybody's why is going to be different. If you make it so broad that you can't really put your finger on it, then it's hard to implement a plan. So that's, again, you have to start with getting organized when we talk about lifestyle change. From there, you can start to set goals. And by goals, I mean realistic goals. And so how you do that is when you have your what. And so let's say my what is, I want to have more energy throughout the day. So that's my goal. So how do I really achieve that? Well, I probably should add some exercise to my day, or more consistent exercise. Maybe it's more balanced exercise. I might have, with energy levels, you might be kind of spiking your glucose level too much, and then it comes back down. So then you get meaning you eat a sugary meal or something that's really high in carbohydrates, which is like bread and pasta and things like that. And so you're like, oh my goodness, I've got all of this at once, and then I crash after that. And so this commonly happens at lunchtime. So it's like that afternoon lull, and then you're just trying to make it through your day. So it could be something where you change what you're eating for lunch, and then all of a sudden, my energy level in the afternoon is better. So it could be something like that. So when we talk about goal setting, we want to look at the final outcome. So the final outcome is our long-term goal. And realistically, how long do we think it's going to take to achieve that? Well, that might take 6 months. Well, I want to set some shorter goals in there so that way I'm not going to lose the momentum along the way. So you set this bigger goal that might take 6 months, might take a year, who knows how long, depends on what you have going on. And then you set some short-term goals. That way you can have achievable steps to make it to your long-term goal. And then you write it down. Nobody remembers 4 weeks ago how they felt. They remember how they felt yesterday. This happens all the time. So I'm like, how's it going? I feel the same that I felt, and I'm no better than I was. I'm like, interesting. Well, last week you were doing X, Y, and Z, and you were doing it independently, confidently, and there's no major issues. Whereas before, you had a hard time, literally walking in because you were in so much pain. Oh, I guess I forgot about that. Right. So it's important to constantly revisit the short-term goals, because if we just look at the long-term goal, then we're going to forget that it's about the journey and it's about the destination, because we're going for the destination, but the journey along the way is where the real growth happens. And so that's why goal setting is so important, and coming back and reviewing those goals. So the next thing that's on the list is finding an accountability partner. This doesn't have to be somebody in person. It really doesn't. It's great if it is somebody in person, but it could be a friend that you can text. It could be, somebody that you work with. It could be a family member. It could be a partner. It could be when when I didn't have a running partner, my dog was my running partner. So it doesn't matter who is that accountability partner. But I would wake up, super early in the morning, and my dog would hear me get up and she'd be so excited that it's well, I can't go back to bed. She's super excited to run. So okay, I'll get up and go. And then boom, I feel so much better that I got my morning run done. So an accountability partner can look like a lot of different things. So don't kind of put your eggs into it has to look like one thing. It's whatever works for you and whatever accessible to you. But accountability partners can make it so much easier to implement lifestyle change, because you have that constant give and take, and that person that you don't want to let down, because you'll let yourself down, but you won't let that other person down. And so, or that animal in my case. So, okay, so that was number 3. The next one is to use a planner or a reflection journal. Now, this goes back to, we forget where we were a month ago. So if you can start this process by writing your goals down, write your why down, what your what is, write your goals down. Then in your reflection journal, each day, I like doing this at night, because when you write things down at the end of the day, it's kind of like a nice little look back on the day. How did I do with my water intake goal? How did I do with my energy level in the afternoon? Whatever it is that you're working on, my consistency with exercise, who knows? Everybody's different. So kind of take some mental notes on what were my wins today, and then writing that down. Now you have something to go back and reference. So it's wow, a month ago I struggled 5 out of 7 days of the week with my energy level in the afternoon, and now I'm really only struggling with it on Fridays. That's great. I didn't realize how much growth I've made. I just remembered that I struggled today. Well, it's Friday, it's the end of the week, so then you can start to discern, why are Fridays difficult? Well, maybe you're not getting enough sleep during the week. Maybe it's, just kind of how the rhythm of the week is going. There's some other changes you can make to get Fridays to be a win, just like Monday through Thursday are. Who knows, right? So the more that you can reflect on what has worked, then it'll show you what still isn't working. And now our focus goes from a big focus to you start narrowing that focus in, and you get more and more strategic. But the only way that you can do that is by reflecting on what you've already done. So the reflections journal, key. We have one that we sell. You don't have to use that. There's tons of different ones. I put a little gratitude comments in there as well, because just reflecting on, what am I grateful for today, ends your day with a positive mindset, which helps you sleep better, and then you wake up kind of ready for the next day. Start with some positive affirmations, and all of a sudden lifestyle change starts turning into mindset change, which then everything starts working together, and it works better that way. So that was number 4, which was to use a planner or a reflection journal. Number 5 is consider, so now we're really getting into the nitty gritty of lifestyle change. So we want to consider, what's the flow of the day? So whatever we want to add into lifestyle change, we want to make sure that our rhythm of the day is going to work with whatever we're putting in. So you don't want to put something in that's high activity as you're coming down into sleep. That doesn't really work, right? You don't want to put something that's maybe too much of a time commitment into a rhythm of the day that doesn't leave enough space for that. So there's just kind of what is that rhythm? So ideally, the rhythm of the day starts with a ramp up into the day. So we wake up, we ramp up, and then we build our energy as the day progresses. So we're getting into morning, late morning. Then we've been kind of moving now for a while, and then we get to typically lunchtime. We're going to have like a little recovery phase. So we're going to bring that energy back down. We're going to sit, we're going to eat, have a little bit of a recovery, and then we're going to ramp back up again, right? So now here's our afternoon activity. And then we'll have dinner, and then we're going to start our decline. And so that decline takes time for you to actually like come back down from the day so that you can actually go to sleep, sleep well, recover, so now you can start it all over again. So however you want to implement lifestyle change, just consider your flow throughout the day. And so if you want to add something into your ramp up somewhere, add it into the ramp up. If you need to consider something with your recovery in the middle of the day, that's, maybe that's meditation, that's food, that's hydration, that's grounding. A lot of stuff can be meditation. A lot of stuff can be put into a recovery phase during the day, which helps with our energy level later because we took some time to recover appropriately. And then we can consider what it looks like for that down phase at the end of the day. So how do I kind of get my body to get into this relaxed state so I can sleep well? Well, there's a whole nighttime routine that can happen with that. Adding, again, meditation, stretching, mobility, breathing, journaling, things like that are all quieter activities. So kind of making sure that we implement things in an appropriate part of your day will make it way more likely that you can sustain it, which is lifestyle change. Now, the last thing is really making sure that whatever you're already doing, right? So you're already waking up, you're already brushing your teeth, you're already maybe drinking coffee, having your breakfast, commuting to work, maybe, or doing a school drop off, whatever things that are already have to happen every day. Typically, if we want to start with small lifestyle changes, we just hook it right in next to something you're already doing. So easy examples would be I wake up in the morning and I do some gentle stretching, mobility, deep breathing, positive affirmations before I get out of bed. I'm already waking up, so I just do it right then. It could be something where I'm already making a cup of coffee, so while I'm making a cup of coffee, I drink a glass of water. I just got in one more glass of water, right? Check that off. So that's a easy, when we're talking about increasing hydration, boom, first thing in the morning, drink a glass of water. So it could be things like that. You're already taking a break in the middle of your day somewhere, typically, to eat lunch. So right in that break period is where you could add some meditation, some grounding, being mindful of whatever you're eating or drinking at that point. And then typically there's transitions in the day that are already there. Commute times, end of work, end of kiddo pickup, drop off, whatever that looks like for you. So in those transitions are typically where you can kind of shove in some exercise. And so, because you're already in between things. So it's a matter of changing your clothes and either going to a gym, doing something at home, including kids, not kids, partners, not partners, whatever works for you. But kind of if you tag it to something you're already doing, it makes it way more likely that you're not going to have to remember to do it. So you're not going to ever remember, oh, I should get my strengthening in right now because I automatically thought about it. Doesn't work like that. So it needs to be something that is already pre-scheduled and you've already set a plan in place for how that will be implemented. That's how it will actually be implemented consistently versus when I happen to maybe think about it. Doesn't work like that. So recap, when we talk about how do you implement lifestyle change, first we talk about why. What's your what? What's your why? Get organized. Really think that through and be mindful. Put you first with this. So number 2, set realistic goals. Don't set goals that there's no chance you're going to reach them. Okay. Then you just feel depleted and like you're not ever going to be able to handle this. You can, this is very possible. So it's set a very realistic goal or goals, short and long-term goals. Again, that's easy to do. Write it down, put it on a calendar, however you want to do it. Number 3, accountability partner. Some way, shape, or form, it helps tremendously. Number 4, use some sort of planner, reflection journal, something where you can track your progress so you can actually see how far you've come. It's really easy to miss out on this one. Number 5 is consider the flow of your day when you're starting to like really think about where you're going to put this in. Really think about the ramp up, the pause, then kind of coming back up into the ramp up and then back down again. That rhythm is great for glucose regulation, energy maintenance, all that kind of stuff. Really helps you keep the day going. Last one is adding these new habits alongside something you're already doing. And so when you combine all of this together, these 6 steps, then lifestyle change is something that is very doable. It's not overwhelming. You break it down into pieces that you can handle, and it's amazing what actually can happen. And then you're putting you first. So the biggest thing is, remember, is to take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. So remembering that, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live.